we have an interview.
Yes.
And we're really excited about this because we've already filmed the interview. So we're interviewing, we gave a little teaser in the last episode.
Yeah.
And in this case, usually when we're talking local, we mean like hyper local. But this case, there is a new farmer that moved to Nova Scotia from British Columbia, and her name is Lisi Ohm, and she raises Icelandic horses and Cashmere goats.
Yes. And so we sat down to have a chat with her.
Right.
In less than perfect lighting conditions, so apologies in advance, but we could not do it here because we were open during the day and she was here during the day.
Yes.
But it's a great interview. And then at the end, we're showing a little vignette of her goats. They're very cute.
Yes, really cute.
Yeah.
And so you will notice there might be a little bit of shadowing because of the lighting, but Lisi was absolutely delightful. And so you're going to see the interview for that. And I'm not saying her farm name because it's Icelandic, and I didn't even bother trying to practice it because I knew that it was going to be impossible.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's go watch that now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Kim and Jen, and we have a special guest today, Lisi Ohm. And I'm not going to say the name of her farm because it's Icelandic, so I'm going to let her talk about that. But we alluded to the fact that we have something very special happening in the last episode, and the special happening is Cashmere, and Lisi is the supplier of our Cashmere. So welcome, Lisi.
Thank you.
We were so excited when you called us because you can't get Cashmere local, and we're all about spinning as local as possible. So your farm is in Nova Scotia, so I'll just ask you to introduce your farm. And I know that you don't just do Cashmere, you also have horses, so you can just talk a little bit about what you do and maybe how you ended up in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, this
Lucky
is
for us. Yeah, very lucky.
This is a little bit of a crazy story. First of all, I'm an Icelandic horse breeder, so this is where the farm name comes from, Vindsdalur Icelandic Horse Farm. And I always had an affinity to fiber and used to spin and such a thing. So, long story short, eventually living in British Columbia, we started a small farm for Cashmere goats because I thought these fit very well with our Icelandic horses. Goats and horses graze well together, and Cashmere goats are in many ways the same hardiness what I love in Icelandic horses. They thrive in cold, miserable weather, stuff like this. Well, you know, there's also goats which are very sensitive, and these guys are not. They're really hardy. They can handle rough temperatures. That's where they produce their fiber. And also, as much as I like goats, they are easy in keeping because I don't need to tend to them all the time. We are brushing the goats out once a year. It's not a shearing process, it's a brushing. And the goats actually really quite enjoy it.
I bet.
So, because this is at the time of their life when they want to get rid of the underhair anyway, so the Cashmere is the fine underhair, and they would start to rub on trees and such. So if I'm standing there and brushing, you can tell that they say like, oh, this feels good.
Oh. Yeah. So that's an important point, is that you're actually brushing everything. There's no shearing involved.
No.
So from a spinning aspect, that's probably also adds to the softness, even though Cashmere is already very fine and soft. But the fact that you don't have any blunt cut ends actually even makes the fiber even softer.
What we have to pay attention to is this window of opportunity for the goat to shed their hair, and each one is different. So you need to figure a little bit out like, oh yeah, this one lets go and this one doesn't, because there's a dark cloud in the sky or it gets really cold and all of a sudden they don't let go because they're smart.
Oh, okay.
So, and then there's this window of time when we are brushing and all of a sudden the underhair, aka Cashmere, comes out. If you're too late, it's too much guard hair, and the guard hair doesn't have the fine crimping you are asking for.
Right.
So,
So, and the guard hair for us, we take that all out of the fiber anyway. So obviously, double coated animals, whatever they are with fiber, if they have a guard hair and they have an undercoat, then most times we want to take the guard hair out, except for Icelandic sheep actually.
Oh,
you
so
do
right.
you
Yes,
want to leave some of it in.
Yeah.
So that's great that you're able to kind of adjust how you're gonna gather the fibers so that there's less guard hair.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier for us, so that's good. Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
we will be, and we are a small producer, so I'm not going to brush out 100 goats. You know, so it will be even in Nova Scotia, where we just moved from BC, and now in the Maritimes, I was lucky enough to find a mill who was actually producing, because that was always the hindering in British Columbia or in this area in the West. There are no mills. And that means we were always catering to small hand spinning situations. So now there's this possibility of having a mill mixing it, and that allows me to become maybe a little bit bigger in my production, but without becoming huge.
Yeah.
And of course we were thrilled. Can we interest you in silkworms?
That's the only fiber we dream of that we can't get local.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That sounds a little bit gross, but no, we're not. This is with Cashmere. This is as good as it gets.
Okay,
from me.
we'll take it.
So how many goats do you have?
We right now have 4 does and a bunch of little ones. And when we moved from BC to Nova Scotia just a year ago, this is really, really, really fresh. We took our best producers with us. So the producers which I liked the most. Very fine crimping, very, very abundance, lots of fiber. This is nice. And a certain length, which makes it easy. So we took a very high quality buck with us, and he has a bunch of babies this year, so which are staying, all the female babies stay with us. And then we also purchased another very, very well-bred black buck who is already, he's still a baby, but he already has a lot of gray cashmere, and it looks spectacular. So the gray one I hope to introduce a little bit more into our breeding, that we have the really, really white and the gray stuff. So let's see where it goes. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we are brushing out about 12 next January, February, March, something like that.
Neat. I love the gray. It would be pretty dyed.
It's silvery, yes.
Yeah, and it would be just gorgeous, 100% on its own in a sweater.
I'm quite excited about it. So
So when we purchased the fiber that we did for this special spin, we purchased 16 ounces or 1 pound. So was that and that wasn't quite your full production? You had a little bit more?
I do have a little bit more. I sell some privately to hand spinners.
Right.
But it depends a little bit how much you can use, where I'm going with how much goats I'm going to keep and how much goats I'm going to keep brushing out. So the goat bucks are limited in the brushing possibility, because once they get into breeding season, they get excited and pee on themselves. Not so good. There's a stench involved, like hello elbows, and we only can use then the top part of his fiber, because the rest of it is really, really silky. Right now you would not be able to tell his smell, but comes breeding season, that is going to happen. So basically we try to keep as many females as possible, and then they just have babies and also produce cashmere. So and I can see I have 6 babies to brush out January, February, March, and of course the very first cashmere harvest or brushing is the best. So they already start to have cashmere. You can see that they're already having a little bit of fine stuff. One is cream colored, and it's like so cool.
Yummy. Okay, so and then when you we've talked about this, so when you have the chance to expand, what do you think is the capacity that you'll be able to get to realistically, since you are brushing everything by all your animals by hand?
I would think of let's think 3 kilos.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
our eyes light up. Bing.
We're will be a process to get there, but yes, I am going to breed to come to a certain amount of production.
Great.
But as I said, it is also what you guys can use. You know, if you say like, okay, we are swamped with cashmere, stop it. I will.
No, I have a funny feeling that's not gonna. If Angora from bunnies is any indication, I don't think cashmere is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we can handle that, no problem.
Fantastic. Yeah. So this is easily done. So
Yeah.
because goats multiply fast.
Yeah,
They do.
Yes.
Sheep too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
Building up the numbers is not the problem.
So having two bucks from totally different breeding lines allows me now, of course, also to say like, okay, I can keep the daughters and I can reproduce with them. So this was my idea, you know, and I was lucky to find a really well-bred buck. So
Oh,
The
good.
gray sounds amazing.
yeah.
We love to overdye on colored fleeces. So you know, most people assume that white is, you know, that's all that a producer, like a yarn producer, would want. But for us, it's we actually breed black lambs into our flock because we like the effect of overdying on colored things. And the same with the Angora rabbits. We have silvery gray. So ooh, that might be
Angora cashmere.
wow.
When living in BC, as I said, I was producing a lot for hen spinner, and a friend of mine had alpacas.
Okay.
And alpaca is also a luxury fiber, so you think like, how can I improve alpaca? It's fantastic. She sometimes blended cashmere in it, and it even improves the alpacas to a degree where it's like, oh my god, it's really lovely. So since you also have alpacas, that might be something to play with.
Yeah.
You know,
So, we do purchase alpaca fiber on the island here. Yeah, there's certainly it's available.
So now everybody is seeing how we enter the rabbit hole and fall down into something that we had no idea was going to happen. So
It's happening.
This is it. You're seeing it live.
One thing what I was not sure of when I moved from BC. BC climate has of course totally different features than Nova Scotia. And the goats produce the fiber according to the temperatures. And I was not sure how the fiber would turn out in the Maritimes. And I was really happily surprised. So it's awesome. And our goats live in an in and out large barn, so it's not a heated barn. So they have shelter from wind and rain, but if it's 20 below, it's 20 below. You know, and actually they're faring very well. I was a little bit concerned that the more moisture in the air would affect it, but no, I'm quite happy.
And when we say BC, for people who aren't familiar with Canada, it's British Columbia, which is the exact opposite end of the country we're sitting in, like East Coast, West Coast.
We moved with 5 goats on the truck. We were a little bit of a roadside attraction.
Yes, I bet.
So funny stories.
I wonder. To your point about the weather, if I'm not sure where you were. We're in British Columbia, where you were located, but I would imagine that it's also colder where you are in Nova Scotia than it was in BC. But
no, it is windier and wetter. And as I said, the climate is a lot more snow and really quite cold in the wintertime. Also dry summer. And as I said, the amount of more moisture and more wind and rain, I was not sure how the goats would produce, but they handle it excellent. And it, of course, makes a cold climate. So apparently it's not influencing their fleece. So
well, that's a really good point, because that's part of the issue with people trying to raise Angora goats here. Because of the dampness. They were actually, it was hard to harvest the fiber before it became matted because of the humidity. So it's really good. I mean, it's completely different fiber, but it's really great that you didn't run into that.
That dampness is a challenge with all fiber animals and humans. Like people, I lived in Alberta for a bit. It's very dry, cold, and people say, "What is it? Dry, cold? Cold is cold."
No, it's not.
If you go out in a dry wool sweater or a wet wool sweater, you will feel different. It's the same temperature. You know, it's very different. And Matt's fiber, we even find the difference between our renegade bunny Paige, who's in here, almost never needs to be brushed. Her fiber just grows out dry and beautiful and silky. The ones out out in a barn sort of building where it's much more damp, they mat very quickly.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess more. It's a little bit like the dumb farmer lark. I think our setup we built for the goats work well. So not
perfect.
well because it's open to one side,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
so that there's always a breeze. It's very cool in the summer. They have shade, but other than that, they're living a little bit the happy goat life
Right.
because they get roaming all over the farm, and you said, "Yeah, I'm eating over there."
Yes,
So,
yes, perfect.
So,
Well, that's what the same practices we subscribe to as well.
Right.
So we know that it works for our sheep. So
Yeah.
Excellent. So this is just a little short introduction. So we'll be showing the yarn. We're not ready to show the yarn yet because we're filming this.
I felt it. It felt amazing.
Yeah, it's made, but it's not done yet.
Yeah.
So while we're showing the interview, we'll probably show pictures and that kind of thing.
Definitely.
So
We'll
while
be
we're
drooling over it in real time on our next part of our recording.
Yeah.
I feel very, very lucky to have a chance to meet with you guys and send you my cashmere. So this is really cool because it allows me to grow as a producer. So this is fantastic.
Great.
That's what we love. That's great.
Yeah.
So thank you for
And we're
coming to see us.
Yeah, and we're sure we'll have an appreciative audience. as well.
Definitely.
So
Okay,
yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So great, Lisi. We give everybody a hug. Met you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.